Hey guys, future me here to defend myself just a little bit more. I just want to make it clear that it's not necessarily that I don't think this video violated some guidelines, but it certainly didn't violate the one that they're saying it violates. Hello people of Earth. Now, I never thought that I'd have to make a video like this, largely because I thought my channel would fly completely under the radar and prevent anything like this from happening. Also because I keep my content, pretty safe, I would say, but I've gotten a warning on my channel. When I checked my phone just, 20-30 minutes ago, with a warning on my channel, one of my old videos had been taken down for a community guidelines violation. This is what it says. It says, "Hi Marsted Art." Now this is almost definitely automated, and my speculation is that either some sort of algorithm thought it detected something in one of my videos that broke a guideline, or somebody was offended by my video and flagged it. I don't think a person ever reviewed it. It's pretty well known and understood at this point that when YouTube strikes happen almost all the time, if you appeal it or anything, it's just a bot involved. They try to hide it, but that seems to be the prevailing theory. But what this says is, "Hi Marsted R, our team has reviewed your content and unfortunately we think it violates our violent criminal organizations policy. We removed the following content from YouTube. Video, when does a joke go too far?" Alright, so how your content violated the policy, this is important first. Content that glorifies violent criminal organizations or incites violent acts against individuals or a defined group of people is not allowed on YouTube. Review educational, documentary, artistic, and scientific content on a case-by-case basis. Limited exceptions are made for content with sufficient and appropriate context and where the purpose of posting is clear. Please refer to our help center for more information on the importance of context. Now that part is kind of useless to me. I don't really care because the so-called offense, and I reviewed the video before this and I'm going to go through it in this video. Just to be sure, I never mentioned any organization, definitely did not promote any organization, so I don't see how it's possible that I promoted a violent criminal organization. Now another alternate interpretation is, so it says content that glorifies, so that, if we rule that out, or incites violent acts against individuals. Now, this is a tricky one. It depends on their interpretation. Now, the way I see it, I didn't incite, I definitely didn't incite violence of any kind, to be clear. I was defending, edgy jokes, edgy humor, because that's the sort of thing that I was, I guess, kind of fascinated with at the time. But my point was from a free speech perspective that, as far as a public setting, a public setting, not a private one, and this is in our laws, we have the right to freedom of speech, and that's what I was defending basically. Once you start censoring things, like whoever's making the rules gets to decide what's okay and what's not, and almost definitely we're not going to agree. It's better the way we have it that, pretty much any belief is allowed to be expressed. And I was not defending any beliefs, like there's beliefs that I obviously think are wrong, but I think still should be allowed to be voiced. I feel like that is fairly, bog standard of an opinion. It's not super extreme or radical. Now this video definitely could have been put together more tactfully, and we'll get into that. I'm currently working on an appeal. I don't expect it to get a positive result. I think a bot is just going to say, "Oh yeah, we reviewed it and you still violated," and it'll be gone. Anyways, just for the sake of defending my honor, I'm going to go through this. So to continue my appeal, a part that I missed was, promoting violence against a group or individuals, which I certainly did not do. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Grammarly is getting their free advertising right now. So let's get into the video. So now I'm going to start the video. I think it's safe to say we all enjoy a good joke. But when... Oh, did you hear it? I promoted a violent organization. I promoted violence against people at that part of the video. You guys missed it. From this point on, I'll try to treat it fairly seriously. Does a joke go too far? Is it racism? Sexism? Or when we joke about violence or tragedies? Where do we... So, first point. I understand these are some, let's just say not politically correct jokes that I selected, or memes, whatever you want to call them. I think one of these is actually, yeah, I think this is a DM. I don't even think this is a meme, this is just a DM that some friends of mine had, and I thought it was funny, so I asked permission to use it. Obviously, you can understand that that is an example of a racist joke. That's the only reason these are here, by the way, is for examples of what I'm talking about. Maybe not the smartest thing. I certainly would have done this video differently now. My point isn't necessarily even that I'm not breaking rules, because YouTube's current policies, I could be breaking some rules, I'm not really sure. I don't keep up with YouTube policies because I don't really care. I think it's honestly a waste of time, because if I can't be the kind of content creator that I want to be on YouTube, then I guess I don't want to be on YouTube anyway, so I don't concern myself with the current policies. However, when I have a video taken down and they give a reason that is irrelevant to the actual content, of course I'm going to be mad about that. Could be by showing an example. I believe this is an educational context to an extent. This is like, you know, something you might submit for an essay or something you might write a thesis on. So I'm gonna move on and we'll see the next point that I have. Or when we joke about violence or tragedies, where do we draw the line? What type of joke is so extreme that it shouldn't be allowed ever? I think to get a better understanding of this, we should start with some jokes that we can all agree couldn't really offend anyone. So we're gonna start by asking Cortana a couple of jokes. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that some parts of this video are, you know, I could skip, but just for the sake of really proving my case, I am going to go through the whole thing. Hey, Cortana, tell me a joke.
Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana.
Tell me a joke that's actually funny.
The barman says, "We don't serve time travelers in here." A time traveler walks into the bar.
Tell me an unfunny. Wow, the only thing I'm guilty of is bad audio mixing. Joke.
How about a science joke? Have you heard the one about the sick chemist? If you can't helium and you can't cure him, you'll probably have to bury him.
Do you know what funny even means?
I didn't follow what you said.
I'm just pausing that so you have time to read it. Can you please teach me how to kill myself? Now, I speculate that this may be the offending point in the video. This is a genuine result. I just decided to ask Cortana to see what would happen. I thought it was kind of a funny way to improv the video. I think that this is possibly the most genuine thing. I'm not promoting anything here. These are genuinely the Bing search results at the time when I asked Cortana that question. Now, I can't really read these links and I could go to them, but I think that's irrelevant. They are just, you know, it's like search results, you know, like really, you know, Google would probably give pretty much the same results. So I think it would be disingenuous to get me for something like that. So I figured maybe computers are just too advanced for good old-fashioned humor. Oh man, every time I've rewatched this video, I so regret having bare feet. It's like, I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Maybe because it's kind of cringy that makes it funnier, I don't know. Maybe I need to go to something a little bit more primitive. So, fun fact, I actually bought these Laffy Taffies just for this video, because I don't care for most candy, really. A little less technologically advanced to find a good joke. So let's go ahead and try that theory out a little bit. What does a television have in common with a rabbit? His ears. What did the crop say to the farmer? Why are you always picking on me? I mean, at least that one I could tell was a joke. The other one didn't even sound like it was a joke or anything. So yes, in this point of the video, I pretty much am just making fun of Laffy Taffy jokes. I don't see how this part of the video was really doing any better than the jokes I was reading, but I thought it was a good idea at the time. I think if I'd kept it shorter, it would have been more effective, but this is like, I think, a third of the video almost, so I'm sorry about that. What's a tree's favorite drink? Root beer. How does a dinosaur come out of a pool wet? So I'm not going to read all of these. These are actually some of the best Laffy Taffy jokes I've seen in... Now there's a problem. If you want to make content that's improvised, you're going to have to do janky cuts like I just did. And that will always stick out, you know? It kind of ruins the whatever funny little bit you had. So just a word of advice. If you can dub it in a way that sounds convincing, like if you can match the audio or whatever, do that, you know? Or if you can reshoot it or whatever, it really pays to have cleaner audio. Years, which is pretty sad. So I think it's safe to say that all these jokes are too harmless to ever be accused of being funny. And I'm not saying that a non-offensive joke can't be funny, but sticking to jokes that can't offend anyone does severely limit your options. Just to toot my own horn a bit, you know, some people in defense of offensive comedy, which I am defending here in this video, but they say that you can't have comedy without being offensive. I mean, considering humor is subjective, I think that's kind of a dumb statement, and that shouldn't be the goalpost anyways. So I like the point that I just made in this video, and I'm glad that that still holds up with how I think about things. For the most part, my opinions have not changed on any of this, but certainly execution would be different if I made this video now, and I would hopefully edit it a lot more competently. I think it's possible to make a joke that is both offensive on some level, but still family friendly. You just need to find the right balance. But we still haven't answered the question, when does a joke go too far? And the answer is... never. So, also, delivery of your voice lines is important. A lot of my delivery in this, it sounds bad. I don't know how exactly I would describe it. But, you know, I'm kind of talking like this a little bit, and people don't talk like that, and they shouldn't talk like that because it sounds stupid. Another problem is that awful low bit rate, or, you know, just low quality drum roll sound effect. I really shouldn't have done that. This is a poorly made video. The reason I kept it up is because I wanted to keep some of my old stuff up, and this is one of the more competent projects I put together. And again, I think most of the points I make are still sound. So I do apologize for the quality of this video. Now, are some jokes inappropriate for some settings? Well, of course. However, freedom of speech is a right that shouldn't be compromised. It's the most important right we have because without freedom of speech, we don't have freedom. Saying a racist joke doesn't make someone a racist, nor does a sexist joke make someone sexist. Now, I also want to point out here that I'm not saying that saying a racist joke can't be racist. I am saying it's not automatically racist necessarily, and I'd say for the most part I still stick to that. It depends, you know, on the context and what the intention is. Most racist and sexist jokes are making fun of the retarded mentality of racism and sexism. Again, I think I would kind of soften my points a bit to show, like, I'm not like super white knighting for offensive comedy. I just think that, you know, freedom of speech is an important thing. I'm not glorifying it. Even if a joke is meant to be hateful, we need to preserve the right for anyone to say anything, whether it hurts someone's feelings or not. Now, this, I can't remember. I would say this is potentially stuff I was leveling at YouTube. Like, this stuff should be allowed, and I do think YouTube is a public platform. I think it's ridiculous to consider social media a private platform, but they are classified that way, and as such, they have a legal right to regulate speech. So I might have been leveling some criticism against that. I wasn't telling people to break the rules, I was just saying what rules I thought should be changed. I think that's an important distinction just to make clear. In conclusion, quit whining about jokes that aren't meant to be taken seriously. So that's about all this hateful bigot has to say on the topic. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. So you can see some strong own the libs mentality at the end of that video. So, the point is this video good? I would say probably not, you know? And I'm from a position of bias in favor of the video. I would say this video certainly could have been done better. I think it was kind of an important milestone in my channel making a video that kind of had to rely on editing and bringing together multiple sources, all of my own making, but still, it's more of a put together, rounded project, and it's rough around the edges because it's one of the first times that I did such a thing. So, this video is not that great. In the grand scheme of things, I don't care so much that it's up or down. Honestly, I wouldn't have been that opposed to removing it myself. It's the fact that it's been taken down for, I would say, irrelevant means. At no point did I say anyone should go and attack someone, or go and harass someone, or even go and say mean things to someone. I never said that someone should do that. I never incited it either. I never implied it. I only said that I believe that freedom of speech shouldn't be compromised, and considering that's deeply embedded in our laws, I wouldn't think that's an incredibly controversial thing to say. I feel like most people living in America feel like freedom of speech, for the pitfalls that it does have, is better to have than not have. So at this point, I don't think there's anything more I can say. This is pretty much the end of the video. I'll just, I guess, record myself submitting the appeal that no doubt will be rejected, and a bot will say, oh yeah, human totally reviewed that video and said that, yeah, there's a problem with that video. I don't doubt that'll happen. This video, it may automatically detect the presence of this video, at least through the audio or something, and strike this down as well. And it would be a strike. The first one was a warning, but if this got taken down, it would be a strike, I believe, from what I understand. And I don't really mind, just so much as I get to put this out here and try to defend myself. And if it gets drowned out by YouTube's bots that, don't care or understand anything, I guess that's how it was meant to be, but I wanted to at least make one attempt. And I gotta say, this is not the most motivating sequence of events, but considering, again, I don't care much for this video anymore, so I don't think it's really that big of a deal. But when it comes to an attack on my character, I take that personally.